Murdered in cold blood. 7 years after the brutal broad daylight stabbing of a Crawfordville man, his family is still searching for answers. Tonight in Unsolved, Florida, we investigate the 2014 death of Jody Kilgore, which remains the only unsolved homicide case in Wakulla County. The Wakulla County coastline brought them together.
He got my phone number from my friend and gave me a call, and we were kind of together from then on.
The serenity of Shell Point Beach, such a stark contrast to the turmoil ahead.
I didn't want whoever did this to pay for it.
Jody and Susan Kilgore were married in 1982, built their life on this plot of land, hand-picked for the old live oak that provided shade to so many memories.
That's Jody.
Raised 2 sons together and several grandbabies.
He was a good man, you know, a great dad.
That, of course, all before that fateful morning 7 years ago.
In a day, our life was changed forever.
A possible homicide is being investigated in Wakulla County.
It was just after 10 o'clock the morning of October 6th, 2014. The Wakulla County Sheriff's Office summoned to 55 Spring Court. There, on his own driveway, lay the body of the 50-year-old father of 2. The avid fisherman and master electrician had been stabbed to death in broad daylight. Jody's family says it was his best friend and business partner who lived just down the road that made the grisly discovery that morning. Neighbors overhearing arguing sometime before.
Really, we feel unsafe. I imagine everybody around here does.
Detectives canvassing the neighborhood and searching the woods. The FDLE crime lab brought in, but still, 7 years later, no arrests. Detectives still to this day tight-lipped.
It's being regularly worked, but other than that, I can't comment further on what's going on with the case.
Recent records requests for the incident report and 911 calls denied. The open investigation cited as the reason why. The Kilgore family left to wait and wonder.
I've enjoyed life, but everything comes back to Jody. And why?
What do you miss the most?
The love from him.
His mother Gladys is haunted by the tragedy.
I go to sleep thinking of Jody, I wake up thinking of Jody, and I'll never ever give up.
Keeps his memory alive any way she can, posting signs around town. At one time, even a billboard, and still honors his birthday,
Happy birthday, Jody!
And death date with vigils. Rain or shine.
Thank God it's quit raining.
A mother's devotion to her only son, a hard will to break.
I would get out in the snow if I had to.
Even when she's tired of living the nightmare.
I just wish it was over with.
As the sun set on what would have been Jody's 57th birthday, we caught up with the sheriff. Jared Miller inherited the investigation when he took office in 2017. Says the case was mismanaged back in the beginning, but wouldn't say how.
We had some cleaning up to do.
Telling us they are still working leads.
We have some other things that we are sending off that have already been sent off, and we are waiting on that to come now.
He believes the case could be solved, a sentiment shared with veteran law enforcement officer William Poole.
There's a lot of evidence in this case.
Who worked the case as a reserve deputy and private investigator for the Kilgore family, spending more than 100 hours poring over the case file, looking at evidence and following up on leads. Now retired, he still keeps an eye on it.
I don't like the idea that someone's still driving up and down the road in Wakulla County every day and thinks he's got away with committing murder.
Poole says his theory never transpired into something the courts could use, but he's convinced the evidence points in one direction. But who would want Jody Kilgore dead? And who would do such a thing in this peaceful neighborhood to a beloved grandfather, father, husband, son, brother?
His family says around the time of his death, he was going through a tough time. Jobs had become scarce and he was dealing with some personal issues.
He had quit going fishing, he had quit doing a lot of things that he loved to do.
State records show Jody had dissolved the business he was so proud of a couple of years before his death. His family now left with so many questions.
I want to know why more than who.
Jody now rests in the family cemetery in his beloved Spring Creek. His legacy continues on in fishing records, memories.
My brother was a comedian at heart, I'm telling you.
And even some regrets.
I would give anything to go back and be like, no, get my lazy butt up and
go fishing. Yeah.
All the while, the Kilgore family continues to wait for justice for Jody.
A $10,000 reward and a clean conscience are up for grabs for anyone who has information that leads to an arrest. To make an anonymous tip, call Big Bend Crime Stoppers at 850-574-TIPS. That's 850-574-8477.